I'm Josh Smith, presenter and ambassador for children's mental health charity Place2Be. And to mark Children's Mental Health Week, we have got some very familiar faces sharing their growth stories. And today we are joined by presenter, author, and YouTuber is Dr. Alex George. We are here to mark Children's Mental Health Week and talk about your growth story. And when you look back to when you were a child at school, did you ever dream you'd be in the place you are today?
I think there's no way, I guess, I could predict what's happened in my life, the highs and the lows. When I wind my years back and think of primary school, secondary school, I think a lot of the challenges that I faced seemed overwhelming. They seemed so big. I thought, how am I going to get through this stuff? GCSEs, A levels, dealing with friendships, family. And I found at that time it was quite scary looking into the future. I think about, and I certainly look back now as realizing how helpful failure is. I had my first big failure, I think, when I applied to medical school. I got a place at Liverpool at the time. And unfortunately, when it came to A-level results day, I missed out on my A grade in one of the subjects by 2 marks. And I was devastated, and I had to really swallow the fact that I'd failed. I'd failed to get into the actual med school, and it was a real kick in the teeth and, a winding feeling in your stomach. But actually, within a few days' time, I kind of assessed and thought, well, actually, I really do want to do this. So what am I going to do? Am I going to give up or go again? I thought, no, I'm going to go again. And I learned so much from that failure that it meant that throughout med school, even though I went there thinking, gosh, am I going to be able to succeed? I couldn't even get in first time. I actually learned so much, and I came out with a distinction. And I say that because I think a lot of people think that they can't achieve and that they can't do it. And I think that self-doubt is a big thing. But if you can learn to accept failure and see it as a friend rather than an enemy, you realize that you can be very successful.
The best piece of advice I've ever been given in my entire life was by the athlete Katherine Johnson-Thompson. And she said that regret will always haunt you more than failure. And that is such an important lesson to learn so early on, isn't it? There's going to be challenges along the way. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be failures that we've been talking about. But if you have that deep-rooted contentment with your life decisions, you are able to process those hurdles in new ways.
I think that's very great advice. That's great advice. I mean, it's that whole kind of idea as well. I mean, in an era of social media and comparisons, try and focus on thinking of success about what that means to you rather than trying to please other people. Because if you try and please other people, you never get right. I mean, as long as you're happy with what you're doing, and you believe in what you're doing, and your friends, the people around you, and the people's opinions that you value, that they believe, yes, you're doing your best, you're doing what you can do, that is important.
When you think back to the people that you've reached out to for help at different times in your life, who's helped you grow into the person that you are today?
I think the support network around you is absolutely vital. And I think that's as important through the good times as the bad.
When it comes to mental health, especially, how do you deal with your own setbacks?
Life isn't linear. I would go as far as I don't think there's anything in life that is linear. There's very few things that are. And I think accepting that is a really good thing, a really powerful thing, actually, especially if you think about your mental health. Good days and bad, we all do. Even if you've got fantastic mental health, you will have bad days. Life happens, and you might even have a day you wake up on what should be a good day and just not feel great. You don't feel yourself, and that happens. The most important thing, I think, is to make sure that you've got the infrastructure to support yourself through the good days and the bad. So, for me, I went out for a run this morning. It's getting outside, it's moving, it's being in fresh air. It's making sure that I'm not on my phone all the time. One of my things I get wrong quite often is being on my phone too much. It's part of my job.
Same.
And I have to be you have to be aware of it. Oh God, I'm on it too much. I've got a new dog, Freddie, little puppy Freddie, who's brilliant because he's getting me off my phone and, into that kind of connection with him. And making sure each day I try just to do something for myself as well. Self-care, to me, that really means is doing something that's for yourself each day. It's not ticking something off a list. It's not doing your homework. It's doing something for you.
Do you feel like you're still growing?
Yeah, oh yes. I mean, we all are, aren't we? We all are. We're all growing. We're ups and downs. You go back and forth. You go 5 steps forwards, 4 steps back. That's how life is. And take each day as it comes. I try now more and more as I'm going into my 30s, is thinking, do you know what? Let's try and enjoy each day. I look back at my school years and think, do you know what? The stuff I worried about that actually I probably could have worried a little less about. I'm not saying don't value doing well at school or achieving things you want to. They're important. But sometimes we do worry about things a little bit more than we should.
And sometimes it's important just to live in that moment, rather than get so overwhelmed by what's coming next. Because it's so important to set goals for your growth. But if you won't get to those goals if you don't take every step and live in the moment on that way, right?
Yeah. Try and be present, live in the moment. People talk about senses, like what can you smell, what can you taste, what you can see, what can you feel, where are you, what time is it, what are you feeling inside? Trying to ground yourself off, and grounding techniques are very useful. There's lots of ways you can do it, but trying to be grounded in the moment and just thinking about the moment you're in. Like, we all often wish for tomorrow when really we should be enjoying today.